Patreon.
And now, Patreon. I think our last one, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Because our
Yeah.
Patreon listeners are already in on the inside scoop.
Yeah.
And so I'll make sure I shut down the Patreon after this so they don't get charged anymore, and then we have to divvy out our money.
Yeah.
All $70 of it, I think.
Woohoo!
So that'll be a little extra Christmas
Well,
goose.
35 for each of us or so.
Yep.
Good deal.
It's about. Yep. And maybe it's not enough that even the IRS won't care about it on our taxes.
Oh, yeah, we'll see. I forgot about that, too.
Right. This question from Mom and Dad this month being, since it being Christmas time and all, what's your favorite Christmas movie? And why is it your favorite Christmas movie? Any particular bit of acting or a musical score, perhaps, that's your favorite?
Yeah, so, you want to go first since I talked your ear off about Italy?
Oh, no, that's fine. It's a good question. I know Casey and I were just commenting the other day because we were scrolling through Netflix looking at all the Christmas movie, and Hallmark gets that reputation of like having all these cheesy Christmas movies, but if you've been paying attention the last year or so, Netflix has put out some pretty cheesy Christmas movies too, like with Vanessa Hudgens, and we were confused because we saw Vanessa Hudgens had another Christmas movie that was out on Netflix because she did like The Princess Switch, I think it was the year before, and we saw this and we were like, wait, is this a sequel? And then it turns out, no, she just happens to be in another Netflix Christmas movie. But this one, it's like basically like a medieval night. It's basically like Kate and Leopold, but set in Christmas time. And instead of him being from like, the late 1800s, he's like a medieval knight.
Huh.
So basically think like a medieval spin on Kate and Leopold, but at Christmas time.
Okay. Interesting. Did you watch it?
That's a new one. No, we talked about watching it, but we hadn't yet. And then, of course, going through Disney Plus and seeing all the Christmas movies that are there that I remember watching. And I know just last night we ended up watching The Star because we were at the Walmart in Fredericksburg and we bought it on a super cheap deal. So we finally watched The Star and was like, oh yeah, this is a pretty nice little animated picture that they put together.
Oh, the medieval one is called The Night Before Christmas.
There we go. Yep. Yep, with a medieval knight, and Vanessa Hudgens is the girl who gets, I don't know, I'm guessing if they're following the Kate and Leopold story structure, then they're probably going to fall in love, and they're going to have to, I don't know, explain away she's either going to go back in time or he's going to stay forward in time, but I don't know what all the time travel ramifications are going to be of that.
I don't know. It's got a 2.3 on Letterboxd. I'm not... We'll see.
Well, but that's the point. It's like, it's like Hallmark and Netflix now, they're battling for the best cheesy Christmas movies.
Yeah.
That, you just Netflix and chill. Or, you just sit on the couch with your loved one. You're like, let's just put on a Christmas movie and, have a good time. But I know I'm dancing around the question, which is what's my favorite Christmas movie? But I've been saying it's hard to decide because on the one hand, I have grown more partial to It's a Wonderful Life with every passing year,
right,
just because it's Dad's favorite. But I do have to say, I do quite enjoy the Rankin Bass and stop motion style Christmas films, and probably of those, my favorite would be Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I think is the best one of those that I quite enjoy the most. Put One Foot in Front of the Other. Silver and Gold. Is that the one? Silver and Gold.
That's in Rudolph.
That's in Rudolph. Yeah. Okay. No Toy Maker to the King. Yeah, no, there's a lot of good songs but put one foot in front of the other. I would just get stuck in my head randomly. I remember in 7th grade taking math tests and just being like, I'm taking a test and going, put one foot in front of the other. And I would just be taking a math test and be like, why is this Christmas song stuck in my head? I don't know. It must be that good. Uh-huh. So yeah, any Topper, the penguin was of course, adorable. From the sky, no. And then Mickey Rooney being Santa Claus, Kris Kringle, and then you had Fred Astaire, who was the voice of the mailman. at the very beginning, who is like the narrator and telling you the story.
I think I've only seen that one a couple of times. I really need to watch that again. It's been like forever since I saw that one. We had Rudolph on tape, and so I saw that one several times, but I don't think I ever.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Rudolph is good too. I mean, probably my favorite character from the Rudolph Rankin Bass is Yukon Cornelius, because he's just like this crazy, larger than life guy prospecting for gold. He has a gun, and he's, like, fighting abominable snowmans and stuff. Bumbles bounce! And, saying funny things like that. And then we just watched Claus on Netflix as well. So if you haven't seen that Netflix Christmas movie yet, I would encourage you to go watch that. Yeah, they made a new one. It's like an animated one called Claus. Okay. And it's very good. It's very good. Rashida Jones is a voice in it. And... I know that Sam Riegel's son is a voice in it, and Travis Willingham is a background voice as well. But I'm trying to think who's the main actor. Sorry,
Jason Schwartzman.
I just pull up my. Yeah, Jason Schwartzman, of course. Yeah, no, he was brilliant as Jensen. Jesper. Yes, he was the voice of Jesper, and then Klaus is like a woodsman, and so they kind of tell the story, like the secular version of Kris Kringle, and they tie it up with like, because of mailing letters to Santa, and then explaining the mythos of Santa that way from like this small little, Smerinsburg. Smearensburg is the name of the village on an icy island above the Arctic Circle, and so that's how this whole mythos. And of course, when we were talking about Frozen, we mentioned the native tribes people of Scandinavia, and they actually feature in this movie as well. The what were they called? We named them the.
Oh yeah.
I'm blanking on the name.
All right.
The
Wikipedia.
The Sadi.
Yeah. Frozen. I think that's right. Let me.
Yeah, I think that the Sadi feature in this movie as well. So it was really interesting because, like, I saw Frozen and we watched Klaus, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, hey, it's the natives of Scandinavia."
I'm stuck on Wikipedia. I'm trying to confirm that because I remember we talked about it. Where is the music? Yeah, Sami. Sami.
The Sami.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said Sadi, and it was the Sami people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Sami people actually feature in this movie as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
so
full circle. There you go.
Yeah, go check it out. So, yeah, so those would be my favorites. Wonderful Life, just for the sentimentality and the strong bond it has for me with my father and all that. Mm-hmm. But then of my own personal favorites, yeah, probably like Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Lord of the Rings probably would also count as a good Christmas movie. Or Die Hard. Die Hard would be like the most action-packed Christmas movie that you can watch. And anyone who says that Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie is wrong.
Yeah, I gotta get Elvia to watch it with me sometime this Christmas season. That would be perfect.
Die
Hard? I don't think she's seen it yet, but I for sure have.
Oh my gosh. It's so quotable. And, fun fact, there is, how we talked about how there's a Netflix documentary series called The Toys That Made Us.
Yeah.
Now they have another one called The Movies That Made Us, and they had one of the episodes is based on Home Alone.
Oh, nice.
So I watched that one, and I was fascinated and learned all the behind-the-scenes stuff on Home Alone, and I could see why you like the Home Alone movie so much. And then I watched the one that they did on Die Hard. So it's like, they had 2 Christmas movies for their first 4 episodes. That's pretty cool.
Nice. So for me to answer this question, favorite Christmas movie, I'm trying to think, like, if I could only watch one Christmas movie, what would it be? Or, like, if it's time to usher in the Christmas season, like, what's the first movie that I want to watch,
Right.
And thinking about it, I've had a lot of favorites over the years, but right now, one that I just can't get away from is a movie that Elvia actually showed me. I hadn't seen it until recently, like recent years, and it is the one you just mentioned, Home Alone. It's just such a funny, oddball, like Christmas time story, and the music, the John Williams music and everything, the score that's excellent.
Oh my gosh. I think I would seriously encourage you to go watch The Movies That Made Us, and go watch the episode on Home Alone.
Okay.
Did you know that all the interior shots was a house that was constructed inside of a school gymnasium?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like the entirety of the inside of the house, that's all shot inside of a school gymnasium. Not to mention, it originally started as a Warner Brothers picture. And then halfway through or partway through production, it switched over to Fox. And that's why you can find Home Alone and Home Alone 2 and Home Alone 3 all on Disney Plus, because it's a Fox property.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating. John Hughes wrote the script, and it was one of Chris Columbus's first pictures that he really got to direct. Apparently, Chris Columbus was originally slated to direct National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, but he had such a difficult time with Chevy Chase, he says in this show interview, that John Hughes brought him on, was like, hey, I just wrote this in a weekend. It's called Home Alone. Why don't you take a look at it? And was like, and then he fell in love with it. And that's probably why it's so magical, is because John Hughes wrote it, and just the timing of it, and like you were saying, they were joking about like, we can never get John Williams to write music for this, but then John Williams accepted and ended up writing the music for Home Alone.
Mm-hmm. That's a cool story. I'd love to have to go watch that.
Yeah, man.
So that was probably my favorite. And then I kind of had a follow-on question, because I wanted to ask, like, what's your favorite Christmas Carol story? Like, and the one that comes to mind for me was going to be like my backup choice of favorite Christmas movie, which is A Muppet Christmas Carol.
Of course, that's the best one, obviously. Right. I know Casey hates it. She's like, I don't like Muppets. And I'm like, how can you hate the Muppets? But I just love it because Gonzo and Rizzo are narrating the thing. You've got Michael Caine as Ebenezer Scrooge.
Why do we fall, sir?
And then you have Kermit the Frog as Bob Cratchit.
Yeah.
And Kermit's nephew is playing Tiny Tim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a classic. I haven't seen...
Did you see the animated one with Jim Carrey?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking of. I haven't seen that one yet, but Beth said it was pretty good.
Yeah, no, and Alan Silvestri did the music for that one, because I have the soundtrack for that one. So it's a good listen.
Okay, I'm going to have to put these all on my short list so I can watch them this time.
I think you also need to catch up on your Letterboxd reviews list.
No, yeah. If I don't do that by the end of the year, my end of the year stats are going to be all messed up.
I know, man. If you don't do that, you gotta log them all in. Okay. I mean, Christmas break is coming up. I don't know how much time you got off, but if I had to catch up, now would be the perfect time to start putting them all in. So
yeah, let me check my little list here of all the ones that I haven't put in yet and tell you how many. Currently, 28.
Yes. 28.
From April until now that I haven't logged yet.
Wow. Well, hey, I'll be interested to find out what my stats are for this year, because now that I've actually had a full year of watching movies, so...
I like Letterboxd so much, and we talk about it and use it so much, I might get the pro version too. Just to support them and like get some more stats maybe. I'm not sure how much it is.
Yeah, and if you do the pro version, I think it gets rid of the ads too. So, they're having to run ads just to help make money and support them and stuff. I was going to click it open right now. Pro. For 1 year of Pro, it's $18.99. Or if you get the patron level, a 1 year of patron is $48.99. See, a patron, that seems like a lot, but your name and lights on our patrons page, backdrops on your profile, and early access to some features.
Yeah.
Plus the gratitude of everyone at Letterboxd HQ.
I don't know if I need that much. I just want the stats and stuff. So maybe I'll do the $20 for a year. I can do that. That's
yeah, that seems a little bit more reasonable.
Yeah. Anyway, to be determined.
To be determined. But yeah, man. So yeah, it's the Christmas season, so probably will be, since I have all that time off, we'll probably just be sitting around watching lots of Christmas movies if I'm not editing something or getting ready to get started on this new podcast. So.
Yeah. Yeah, Christmas movie sounds good. That's what I need right about now after all this traveling.
Yep. And don't worry, we'll have you as a guest on the new podcast too. It'll be a lot shorter, so you won't have to worry as much, and I'll have to research more into, finding out these other methods for recording. So maybe I'm not having to be dependent upon having to get an audio clip from someone, I could just extract it from, say, like Skype. Because doesn't Skype have that feature where you can like extract the audio recording of it or something?
I'm not sure, but you could. I know there's a way to do it all on your computer. I know people do that some ways, like some shows.
Yeah, probably if I had the sound just coming out of my speakers on my computer, because my microphone, as we saw on the Star Trek episode where I had to go back and meticulously edit out all the all the audio of you that was coming in through my channel
Right.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, but otherwise it sounded pretty good if I just recorded it myself. So I might maybe I'll have to experiment with that and do a couple test runs or something like that.
Yeah.
And see if it's good enough.
It should be possible. I just don't know how to do it. So yeah, like you said, just do some research and experimenting.
All right. Well, just want to say thank you so much, Mom and Dad, for supporting us on this crazy adventure. We both learned a lot through this entire process, and couldn't have done it without y'all. So without your constant support and encouragement and just letting us get to experiment and, giving us prompts and trying something new. And so, now we'll go boldly forth in the new year, and we'll each go forward and see where the year takes us, I suppose.
Yeah, thanks for all the support, like Kurt said.